Hello everyone. Welcome to today's webinar about Onehealth in PhD curriculum, when we will listen to the insights from the University of Milan. And this webinar is taking place as a part of Onehealth Boost OH Boost project that we deliver at the Estonian University of Life Sciences. Before we will go to the main topic, just a couple of words of what's the project about. So our OH Boost project aims to develop, bring to the excellence research and innovation, and also to improve the management capacities of our university and also the University of Tartu in the area of Onehealth. And this learning process, development process is happening thanks to partnering with our wonderful colleagues, our wonderful partners from University of Helsinki and University of Milan, that representatives we are hosting today. The project is funded from Horizon Europe grants, and it's lasting 3 years. This year is the last one of existing. And today, as I mentioned, we will touch the topic of PhD curriculum in the area of Onehealth, and insights and experiences from the University of Milan Veterinary and Animal Science program will be shared by Professor Fabrizio Ceciliani. A couple of words about our wonderful speaker. Professor Ceciliani is the coordinator of Veterinary and Animal Sciences PhD program, and he's also editor-in-chief of Veterinary Research Communications. And he will discuss today the structure of this program and share his experience in applying Onehealth principles to veterinary education and research. So, Fabrizio, the floor is yours. And dear audience, if you have any questions, please raise your hand or share the questions in the chat. So, yes. Let's start our
I will try to
learning
share.
meeting.
Yes, I might. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for the wonderful speaker. And please, let me have a very brief introduction to me. I teach veterinary pathology at the Department of Veterinary Medicine and Animal Science in Milano. I have a PhD in biochemistry and a postdoc in molecular biology and microbiology. My main interest is in omics, applied to veterinary animal science with a strong focus on livestock. As Ursula said, I'm editor-in-chief of Veterinary Communication that grows more or less 3-4 hours per day since 2021. And I'm the coordinator of the PhD program in Veterinary Animal Sciences here at the department. And I supervise a co-supervise around 20 PhD students. So this will be not a class, this will be really a sort of workshop, and I would like to share my opinion with you and vice versa. Onehealth definition. Onehealth is one of the most abused words in sciences. The other word is biomarkers, the third one is biotechnology. And this is the World Health Organization. I just read it. Onehealth is an integrated, unified approach that aims to sustainable balance and optimize the health of people, animals, and ecosystems, which is a complex disease, but underlies this concept that the health of humans, domestic and wild animals, and plants, and the wide environment, including ecosystem, are linked and interdependent, not either or, all of them together. And Onehealth addresses the full spectrum of disease control, so prevention, detection, preparedness, response management, and this, in theory, should contribute to global health security. So, my opinion, and completely open to discussion. What is not One Health? And this is the cases, I just browsed it yesterday, the PhD programs. We have around 50 now running PhD programs. Checking the time that they wrote One Health, 18, and the time that following this definition, their project really One Health, in my opinion. Animal infectious diseases that are also zoonoses, they are not One Health. They are zoonoses. Because very rarely there is a true attention to the environment and social issue that are related to One Health. When you talk about One Health, you need to have a team of persons with different skills and expertise. Transactional models, in my opinion, is not One Health. It focuses on single disease. And environmental diseases is also not One Health. The fact that humans and cows are both sensitive to heat stress does not mean that this is One Health. They're just two diseases, the diseases that affect both, not necessarily related. So my main issue is, if it is possible to integrate what we have, still 2 or 3, just to be optimistic, One Health program, PhD programs in our PhD program. The main question is it really feasible? Because the PhD studies, by definition, a short one. It's a 3-4 years maximum, 5 years in some cases in UK or in Sweden, but it is average 3 years. So, as we said before, it is very complicated because you need to integrate skills and expertise that can be hardly found in a single PhD program. So the first question, is it feasible? And if yes, how is it feasible? How resources we have developed? So in this speech, I will just share questions. And then I will try to provide you some examples of One Health PhD research topics. In our PhD program, we have 3 different areas. One is biology, basic veterinary animal sciences. The other one is clinical science. And the second one is, well, animal science in general. They are meant to communicate with each with the other. It is very difficult to make veterinarians who work on heart diseases to communicate with veterinarians who work on insects, for example. But very few of them have true One Health program. So this is what is probably a One Health concept. Approach multidisciplinary, which means biomedical, veterinarian, and biological, and chemical, and pharmaceutical, environmental, technical, and social component. Not all of them on the same project, but at least medical and veterinary and environmental and social component must be there. Because One Health is usually a public health issue, an environmental issue, not an individual animal issue, except for emerging diseases. But in the end, there are not that many and difficult to study. Then, emerging health challenges. They can be massive emergencies. And usually when we feel that there are emergencies, they become massive. Very rarely we can spot emerging diseases from one animal or few single animals, just because emerging diseases pops up from the center of nowhere, center of Africa, center of India, center of China. When we diseases, typical flus coming from China, they are not emerging anymore, they are emerged, and they are emergencies, actually. Yeah, this One Health, in this case, the focus is the prevention, control, and treatment, and again, social components. And strong connection with human and veterinary medicine, and environment, and agriculture, and social sciences. So I could not find a lot of program in the PhD of University of Milan. But I must say that I also scouted last week some PhD courses that are named Onehealth. In Pavia, they have one. And to be honest, scouting the different PhDs, they found the same issues. So they don't work on Onehealth, they work on antibiotic resistance, for example, or animal models, translational models, not Onehealth at all, in my opinion. So this is the question. Is a PhD in Onehealth feasible at all? And if yes, how it is? Multidisciplinary is not Onehealth, is multidisciplinary, is a concept, and PhD researchers must be multidisciplinary, but in the frame of 3 years, it's very difficult to be multidisciplinary, to get exposed to all the environments, to all the nice things that a PhD should do, at least completely, for many reasons. One is the money. Usually, the PhD research subject can be really multidisciplinary and involving many areas when they come with an extra budget. Usually the PhD comes with a scholarship and that's it. University of Milan provides 1,600 euros per year. The supervisor is supposed to have money, is supposed to have, but the extra budget can be found only in specific scholarships, such as some specific bilateral projects, for example. And the other condition, so first condition, multidisciplinary indeed, and then you have to create an environment. Second condition, you need to have money, which is the limit, the main limit in my opinion. And then the PhD must be embedded in Onehealth research unit. They're really hard to come. So Onehealth research unit can be structured. Well, I have in mind a couple of cases where I'm not very much expert in that, I must say. In France, they're very good in creating, in some university, one unit where there are medical doctor, epidemiologists, social scientists, economists, all the team that is needed. In Germany, a couple of places are there, but in UK, some places, but not so frequent. So if it is feasible, how? This is an example I picked up from our PhD, so of course there are no names. An example of these guys' Onehealth PhD research topics. Onehealth approach to antibiotic resistant in pets. This is not Onehealth. This is an antibiotic resistant. The focus is in pets. The work done is immense. They search for genes of antibiotic resistant animals in contact with humans, but there is no evidence at all that these genes are transmitted to animals, from animals to humans. Well, they are probably transmitted indeed, because there are some proofs that have been transmitted, but it's not a PhD research. The PhD research usually stops at samples that they can get. In this case, samples are from animals. So the Onehealth is not Onehealth, it is the antibiotic resistant pets. To have a Onehealth, we should have in the team a human microbiologist who can have the same samples from the owners, and this is university, is very difficult. Zooprophylactic institutes in Italy that are mixed units can do that, or activate via the Ministry of Health some contacts, but for a veterinarian it's very, very difficult to get an access to human specimens. So even if we demonstrate that these dogs or cats host an antibiotic resistant microbe, it is very difficult for the student to have an access to the human specimens, blood, skin, whatever, demonstrate that these animals can really transmit the antibiotic resistance. And meanwhile, environment is also very important. So is the environment suitable, or is the environment responsible somehow of this transmission? This is, so for me, this is not at all, it's a case of disguise One Health PhD research. This is another example, again, in our PhD program, and this is, well, much more One Health than the others. This is a quite nice study and going well on antimicrobial resistant zoonotic and commensal bacterial strain isolated in poultry and wild avian species and some mammalians. And this study is done with zooprophylactic institutes and targets specific areas where it is known that there is a strict contact between humans and animals and wild game, wild birds, via feces, or, for example, food left for wild animals and so on. So this is a very wide research. It is not expensive, by the way. It is done with classical microbiologists and sequencing when it is important for the metagenomic, where samples from, for example, the hystrix or for a hedgehog, for wild animals, annotated via feces, via biological sample, by cadavers are checked. And I forgot to put here, PETR is strict contact with these wild animals and humans. So the search started on microbes like bacteria, but now it is extended to influenza, which is the hedgehog, and it is regarded one of the main reservoirs of influenza. I think it is very close to what we consider One Health. It is not expensive, as I said. The student has an access to human specimens that may be part of the skin, part of the hands, gardens, for example, this is the feces of a hedgehog. So all areas where the antibiotic resistance can be spread. And overall, the big pictures can provide the concept that we can really have a passage of bacteria from one species and vice versa. So from hedgehog to pets, or via feces to humans and vice versa. Well, this to me gets very close to One Health. And last, this has to be activated the last year. Well, in this case, is a project I'm directly involved in. We have three projects that are going to be activated in 3 countries, North Africa, 4 countries, North Africa, Spain, France, and Italy. This is a PRIMA financed project. The topic is goat farming system. It comes from far, actually. It is a European project that involves, well, there's money behind it, of course, involves agronomists, involves experts in water. The main topic is climate change and sustainability of the production of goat, for example, but in a quite a complex way. It's not just one PhD research program. We have a team of PhDs running in 4 countries and a team of researchers supporting the PhD. But this is quite close to the concept of One Health. This is the story. The 4 topics quite close each to the other, and each of the students will work close to the others, but with a specific topic. The general topic is the impact of the use of local crops on goat health and welfare. And you know that welfare in North Africa of goats is quite a difficult word to translate in practice. But milk and meat quality and safety, and then the impact of goat-derived proto-ungulate metabolic disease. So one part of the project will deal with the effect of goats feeding based on local plants and vice versa. the effect of goats on the plants. And the same goats will give milk and meat. And this, before that, there will be a parasitologist. A part of the project will check the animal health and zoonotic parasites, and indeed antibiotic resistant. This part of Africa, well, Africa is one of sort of sink for antibiotic resistance. It is really, really an issue, more than other countries, but not Africa. Is really Tunisia. This is done with Tunisia and Morocco. They are the two countries in the world where antibiotic resistance is really, really is becoming an issue. So we will check these effects on gastrointestinal parasite and, of course, the relation between those diseases and heat stress. Heat stress is serious there. And then the quality of milk and meat produced in this way we will work on system biology and conventional biologies. For example, checking the conservation of milk. And then overall the effects of human nutrition, because in the project there are 3 big hospitals in Morocco and 1 in Tunisia that are quite willing. They already started some programs in checking the quality of this goat feeding base of local plants, which from an economical perspective is important because they don't have water. So these local plants can grow wherever. And yeah, we have money behind, not that much as expected, and position is okay. But this is maybe something that close. We have economists, we have agronomists, we have expert in waters, we have expert in some veterinarians, we have medical doctors, we have medical nutritionists, we have food inspector, food technology, and so on. So this is overall something that I think it is close to one end, but we have a project behind, and we have 4 PhD research topics. And yeah, we will start it right away in this 2024. And it is starting the project next year. So in the end, what story I would like to share with you. In principle, the PhD program might be the ideal place to set a one-hour project, indeed, because it should be multidisciplinary, it should integrate many expertise. The fact it should be does not mean that it will do. I think that a supervisory team is required, is mandatory, with many expertise. The supervisory team is something that is consolidated in many countries. In other countries, it is not consolidated at all. And in other countries, they don't want it because they think that there must be a relationship, direct relation between the PhD student and the supervisor, which makes sense on one side, but on the other side, yeah, it is very difficult to implement and One Health program with just one expertise, the one of supervisor. And yeah, I'm sorry, I'm pessimistic and somehow critical, but I like magic word. I abuse of magic word. One is One Health, because it's really a magic word and is a magic word, but it is not just antibiotic resistance, which is one of the current acceptance of the meaning of the significance in Italy. And yeah, for my part, it is all. But yeah, I would like to share my opinion with Fulvio that I spotted online. It was the former PhD program supervisor. I think that he also shared some dubs about One Health that we many years ago we discussed about it. And thank you very much for attending. And yeah, I'm very much open and curious to see what is your opinion about that.
Thank you very much, Fabrizio.
I stop sharing. No, I'm going to stop sharing. Here is it. Okay, here I am.
Thank you very much, Fabrizio. So the floor is open for the question from the audience. Do we have
any discussion? Hi, Louisa.
Yes.
I see you only now.
Scusate, I was distracted a little bit, man.
Fulvio, what is your opinion about the magic word of One Health in our PhD program, your and then my mine, which I copied completely from your, by the way.
Well, as you know, I mean, I think that One Health issue is one of the great topic that in which can be involved, veterinarian education can be involved. And the good thing is that in a kind of PhD course like your one is that it's based on in a vet school, but involves biotechnologists, animal scientists. So it has the right background for this merge of various different expertise, which is, I suppose, is the right environment for the One Health aspect. So veterinarians have a health background, which may be a little bit lacking in other environments like pure biology. At the same time, they are closely related to also the animal science problems. So the two aspects come together. And the fact that in our faculty, in our school, we also have a strong course in veterinary applied biotechnologies surely helps. So all these aspects together, I think that in a kind of a PhD school like our one is a good environment to develop this kind of topics. So it's not just antibiotic resistance, but there is a much wider range of topics in which a PhD course like our one can be effective and expand the range of competence in which this we form the right people. So there are people who has the right academic formation and technical information to apply their knowledge to a wide range of open problems that are coming out. So all this, well, we just been through a big pandemic and
and we were on the first line.
A big lesson learned, but there are other things which are very relevant.
I think what it is nice is that from veterinarian side, veterinarians are very open to cooperation with others, so we know where. I'm not sure that medical scientists are so open. Well, in the One Health program in Pavia, I'm not involved in it, I just spotted it. There are some veterinarians inside, so they just ask for some screening veterinarians. But none of us was involved. Well, neither one of the other departments, to my best knowledge. So they just selected some veterinarians by themselves. But it is good for me that they thought about it. I don't know if they just want the name vet there. For them, it is okay. But yeah, they at least involve them. What it is lacking is the social part. So it's okay, animal science and so on, but there is the environmental part that is a little lacking in my case. We can't have everything. But yeah, I think I also think we're on a good starting point. And yeah, and other thoughts? Well, I mean, it is really open a discussion. I don't have any strong statement to tell to you. It is just a picture of my opinions about the concept is really the future. Not still very well developed. So there are not many teams that are really One Health with all the expertise. Ali Reza.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Fabrizio. It is one of my dilemmas also, the One Health issue. We have tried a lot to somehow gain funding for One Health in Estonia. And one of the problems, one of the criticisms that we are constantly getting is when One Health is very loose. You can put anything that you want in it. I was very interested to see that you started to say that, okay, what in your opinion is not One Health? But your opinion is not shared by many.
No, sure.
Yeah, no disrespect to that. I'm just about telling you what and I'm sure you have heard it also that the others. But at the same time, Nearly, that is especially, I have had in the last 2 years a lot of failures. And when I look in the reviewers' comments, they are constantly saying, yeah, One Health is very, very, yeah, undefined, very loose, and everything you can put in it. Hence, that is killing me. I'm starting even to think, is there another word or definition I can use rather than One Health? I have to say, in your way of somehow putting the third or fourth slide that you had about what you think is One Health, that would become very, very limited, if I can say so. The thing that I was even, when I was looking at that, I was thinking that maybe even COVID was not anymore a One Health issue after it became somehow a pandemic. Before it becomes a pandemic, in your opinion, it is a One Health issue because you have to try to prevent it, or maybe try not to have the people to have so much contact with the wildlife or be very close to it, then it wouldn't, the virus wouldn't somehow jump from one species to another. I don't know. Is that correct, what I somehow understood from what you said? Or is
Well,
that...
I mean, I try I abused about the word of One Health. So, I mean, it is, for me, it is perfectly fair to get money and abusing of One Health if you make it. So, first of all, yeah, it might be a One Health because there is an environment, a cultural environment. There is I won't say scientific, cultural environment and an ecological environment. That is the area of China where they eat everything disregarding all sanitary rules. And yeah, it's not just simple as zoonosis. It's a zoonosis that is created by the strict interaction between human, animal, social environments, ecological environments, and nature overall. So you need many figures to define it. So in this case, yeah, it is not just a transmission or a spillover event. It is a global area. And I also find very, very difficult to get money on the One Health, but because we manage to get a lot of money from One Health, but we work in a way around others got it. So we work with guys and girls from Tunisia and Morocco, and they know what One Health is. So the relation between the goat and the farmers and the heat stress and the arid areas and the social restraints, all the rest. This is something that in India also, it is something that I have some trouble to understand because my vision is very narrow, indeed very narrow. But talking with economists, with agronomists, with people expecting waters, they have a huge vision. I really don't have. I learned from them. I really don't have. We were quite lucky to get this money, but it was not me. I was lucky to get into a partnership. Everything started from a French economist coming from Morocco. And he explained, oh, this is One Health. This is my vision. He's an economist. He works in agronomy. He's an economist. They have other perspective in which the veterinary part is very important. And the medical part is very important. But many parts are important. Topography of water, change of water, migration. This is really moving of diseases. My vision is really, really, really narrow. I don't have a broad vision that allows me. And I was lucky because I was in the path with the right person, but my contribute is really limited as compared to the others. So this is indeed antibiotic resistance is part of this. It is an important part because you transmit the antibiotic resistant to generation, for example, to wild game gets back. It is really important. Echinococcus is very important. For them, it's very important. You can do that, or otherwise they will not have One Health. But it's also something else.
Regarding your other point that you mentioned that veterinarians are very much interested in One Health, but the medics are not so much into it and they are not showing the interest. And so I agree. Actually, probably the reason is in veterinary medicine, particularly, we are more towards the prevention of diseases. Although I see Chrissy, that is our, our medical colleague, is going up. But in that regard, generally, medics, even in relation to the health, public health, they do not, sorry to say like this, they do not look at it as a very sexy area. However, from country to country, it seems that this situation is changing. And nowadays, for example, in UK, I see those medical schools that have a strong health, public health department, they are more successful in getting money and grants for funding. And so because governments, they, at least from the research point of view, we are more interested in interventional issues and the things that we can do some more research, this disease or that disease, but the government is more interested to invest money in public health and prevention because they find it much more affordable and more somehow effective to be helping the society. And that is probably the reason for it is a bit of the tradition or the way of thinking. However, I have to say, although Christy maybe correct me, I think in Tartu, it's not so bad situation. We have good relationship with the medical school. Christy, do you want to comment on that, please?
Yes, in general, I think so. But what I wanted to add or just give a thought that I even don't know if at the moment it should be the goal for PhD program in One Health. I think at the moment maybe it should be like more integrated PhD programs to young people to know and understand the One Health and get connections in other fields. So it would be more interactive to get connections and maybe in the future implement the One Health research or see that what is the different perspectives and the ways to do it. And I think that's cooperation between many areas. And if we are doing our PhD programs, it's not, at least in University of Tartu, I see there are students from the medical faculty and some subjects or courses are maybe more broader audience, but otherwise it's pretty narrow still.
Yeah, this is what thanks, Christy. No, there's nothing against medical doctors, of course, but this is what I was trying to say in my speech. This is really very difficult, these 3 years, and getting it would be nice to have an environment. We have University of Milan is very big. We have, I think, 34 different PhD programs. We have one in epidemiology that is targeting somehow just human diseases that disregard veterinaries at all. And and some of them are infectious diseases. And indeed, growing up in an environment where veterinarians and human doctors and other figures can build up the culture of the expertise of a student would be great. And I also agree that One Health is something that might be developed after the PhD. So you get some expertise and you understand how to interact with the others and how to understand when the others are speaking to you, try to create a common language, get the basis for mathematics, epidemiology, and so on, and tools, and be prepared in your profession to get in this large team. That is what it is needed, because this is what you need. Except that you have plenty of money. Well, if you have plenty of money, everything is possible, of course. You get a big grant, and you have, well, in the case of MedGod, we plan to finance 4 PhDs. Each of them will work with a team of 3-4 persons. Well, if you have money, you have a grant, it is easy. it is completely different story. But yeah, you need to have a brand behind.
If I can just add exactly what Christy mentioned, to a veterinarian, it is a very understandable and digestible concept that when we say many of our health problems, for example, cannot be solved by just looking at animal health, or cannot be solved if just you look at the human health or even the disease. But to a medic, when you say that, hello, some of the disease that you are getting, or even many of your diseases, and so you have to find the problem is in the environment, or is it in particular with the animals, and so it is a news to them. Hence, I think I fully agree with Christy that, and also to the public, that we need to more and more emphasize and make this knowledge to somehow be spread, that if we want to solve the problems with the health, we cannot just focus on one of these issues. We have to focus on all the three together. But then, yeah, at the same time, and since you said also everyone wants to have this and then put it in their application and get money out of it, and so then everything is going to be there, and then it will become a soup that everything is in it. How bring it out of this soup? I don't know. That is my problem too. And to be able to counterattack or to somehow answer the reviewer's criticism, to say that, yeah, we even had one grant application that we did it with in Estonia, a competence center. And one of the questions I was asked during the interview was, what is your hypothesis that you want to test? And what do you mean by the Onehealth is a holistic approach that wants to integrate? Well, we are interested in to know what is the hypothesis that you want to test. And I was just thinking how to answer this.
Depends on the context. There is also an abuse of the question, what is the hypothesis you want to test? Sometimes you don't have an hypothesis to test, you're just discovering, and then you will make an hypothesis. So
but
to test an hypothesis, indeed.
Trying to say that to the jury of
no.
20 people.
No, it is a lost battle. You cannot answer, it is a wrong question.
At the last stage of 7 million euro grant application, and you're standing there and
completely agree. No, I completely agree.
And then, one other question was, what is the value of what you do for the economy? Just what should I answer to this one? If they can't understand that the health is important for the economy of the country, then what should I say? Okay, sorry. It's
they want numbers. They want numbers. Well, this is what I told you, that having an economist aboard. Now, this is why French in INRAE, they have implemented since 10 years now, an economical unit per team. So you cannot, every places on VRAE, we had 40, they had 40, now they have 5, the economy unit. They hired hundreds of economists, more than biochemists, more than microbiologists, because everything is connected. And
100 economy. What kind of application was that? What was it?
Mine, Prima. Prima Med. And we won in the topic of water. But it was not me. It was the leader. I said, can we ever try on the water topic? Water. I drink water. No, we discuss about goats. If you have an idea, it was a very good idea, because goat movement is linked with agro-pastoral area, and agro-pastoral area is linked with water and diseases. But she is from Tunisia, so she knows. And one of the partners are from the Kabila region. It is completely arid now, so they really know what they are. It was just lucky. But the topic was water, and we have an economist, 2 economists aboard, one in Tunisia three, one in Tunisia, one in Morocco, and one in France. So I did not make the part, they made it. But this is facilitated by the team, it's a very rich team.
Economy.
Yeah, because well, you know, Teresa, that the manual that was written about antibiotic resistance in, I think, 2015, the WHO manual, the one that every one of us refer to, was written by an economist. It was him who got the task of writing the manual on antibiotic resistance, because in the end, it is a matter of money, in the end. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're not maybe, you're definitely right. At the end, it is the numbers that counts, and that is probably where we have to also go and yeah.
In France, they did. We did not. In France, they did. You can ever sit around the table without an economist, which is nice because, yeah, depends on the economist, but they provide you with a different view. And now they have an agronomist. Agronomist does not mean, yeah, an agronomist, an extraction of, with a different extraction culture. And yeah, the teams are really very complex. So in this case, as a veterinarian, we play a part. There are not many medical doctors, but there are some biologists with training. And yeah, but in rice agriculture, I work with them. But in SER, for example, those working in agriculture, they have also many medical doctors.
So I have noticed in these kind of applications, when we go in, we are not competing with other application on the biology or medicine. We are actually competing with those that their application is on, for example, solar energy, or is on hydrogen batteries and such kind of things. And then we come with the One Health. Hence, we need to have something that catch the eye of the reviewer or the jury, that they will someone say, okay, I will put my money on the One Health rather than paying the money for the hydrogen batteries, or put it for the sanitation.
The issue is training students on that. In this, as I said before, multidisciplinarity is okay, but 3 years are not that much, and multidisciplines must be difficult to achieve, because the PhD student starts from scratch. And I think that, yeah, Christy is right. Then it should be considered preparation for a profession, that the profession is one health expert.
What do you think about a MSc course on the One Health? Do you think that would be a better choice to go after rather than a whole PhD program?
Yes. Yes.
Because it's just 1 year,
it's that, yes.
or 2 years.
2 years. Well, maybe just for me, it would be a good idea.
And if it would be, what would be the subjects that you put there, especially thinking that it is more teaching rather taught rather than having research?
Well, environment, I think environment sciences, which is, well, agriculture is, and listen, I'm strongly focused on animals, so I'm biased. I'm not sure I could manage it. Indeed, epidemiology, and which is mandatory, a strong connection between human and animal diseases, infectious diseases. But I'm very, very strong. I'm not prepared to, really not prepared to think about that. I cannot plan it. As I said before, my vision is really very narrow. I'm veterinarian in my heart, so I don't have a broad vision. This is something that should be planned with many expertise. And you have 2 years, but yeah, it seems a good idea for me. It is probably better, and they do not be so specialistic. They can open their mind and then look for a PhD on something more specific, which might be animal diseases, human diseases, over microbiology, epidemiology is important. And and then get back in teams. Yeah, this might be, I've not thought about that. For me, it seems a good idea. Do you have PhD program in Onehealth in Estonia?
Under the program that we have with Tiziana and also with the Helsinki University, we are supposed to propose a Onehealth PhD, and Christy and Suranga are trying to somehow. Now we have reached. I think you are the last one that we are somehow quizzing about this, if I'm right, Christy, and we are going to somehow create a document that say that how can we integrate Onehealth into a PhD curriculum of our institution. That is, then we are preparing for it. But there are differences probably between us and you, especially in Estonia, in UT, the Tartu University, and Estonian University of Life Sciences. We have just one general team for PhD. However, it is a very general one, and then you can somehow change it as you wish and adopt it to become PhD program in neurology, or can become PhD in molecular genetic, for example. Am I right, Christy, to mention it like this?
Yes, and in the University of Tartu, we have like just PhD in medicine, and the other program is PhD in neurosciences. So there is like two kind of programs.
Okay. So if you want to run a PhD in veterinary science, you have to go another place.
Yes, so this is the other thing. I think, do you have the same university, the human medicine and animal medicine? Because we have two separate universities. One where
we have university and school programs or department, but I mean, I think that we have 70,000 students, so it is countless. I think we have 34 PhDs program more and hundreds of, well, as expected, Milan is, I think that Milan is as big as Estonia, so you can expect to have the second largest place in Italy. So yeah, we have, and we have 6-7 different PhDs programs all in medicine, 2 or 3 in agronomy and.
But in our system, a student comes in, has to do research for 4 years, and then has to take a certain number of credits. And these credits taught courses and research, it is. And then the taught courses is the part that we can change for different disciplines.
No,
Even in,
yeah.
But then why you say you have 70 different program of PhD? For us, medicine, as Christy said, is just one, but different people use it for their own, in the way that they want to use it. I mean, you understand the credit for the taught ones and the research, but why in your case you say that, oh, we have 70 different PhD programs?
But because we have in medicine, we have an epidemiology PhD, we have a translational medicine program, and so the research topics are completely different and teachers are completely different. So we have the expertise, skill expertise, they are all the same. So, and each PhD provides specific teaching. So if you go on translational models, you have a specific program. Epidemiology is completely different, of course, another way. And then we have a system medicine. This is another different program.
In our case, it is not compulsory to take any particular course, if I am correct.
No,
a student would choose, I want to do this term, this course, and this course, and this course, discuss it with his or her supervisor, and they say, okay, you do statistics and do a bit of writing in science, a bit of this and that, and that's fine with me. But in your case,
we can do the same. We can do the same. We have each course, specific PhD program has a kind of 12 credits that characterize the program. So we decide then, and we apply to the ministry, and we say, okay. And over the top, we have 75, 76 hours on transferable skill that are mandatory for everyone. And then the student can take all the courses that he or she wants besides. So the student can take courses of statistics, are, for example, program from other courses, other PhD programs. They're completely free, but they have to take at least 12 courses that are characteristic of the PhD in veterinary medicine and science. In our case, it is digital imaging, then it is omics, then it is statistics. These are the three courses that we think that they are fundamental. Then, if you like to take a course on philosophy and you like it, yes, why not? Or something epidemiology, medicine, someone takes them, why not? Genetics, why not? And some others, for example, get the credits from our course in epidemiology, in statistics, quite nice. Economics is also nice. So yeah, you can take all the course that you want, but at least these three are mandatory for your definition as a PhD graduate in veterinary animal sciences. Plus the transferable courses, of course. Yeah. These are organized by the University of Milan.
I think that is the difference between us. If I'm right, we are completely open to what we want to take. Christy, am I right about that?
Well, we have like basic courses that are compulsory for PhD students, but there is no like difference if they are from clinical part or not. And then they can take courses that are really for this subject that they are looking into. But I wanted to ask, so what are the criteria to get PhD? Like, do you have some number of papers or do you have examination?
No, we don't have any criteria to get a PhD except passing the 3 years. We have a selection of, we have each year the student has an interview or must write a report on what he or she has done, and the report is evaluated by the council, and then the council may accept or reject or suggest changes. And it is true that if the student has no papers, and with some industrial PhDs, they cannot have papers because they're patent, and the patent comes after. Still, the PhD program is evaluated by the numbers of outputs, so everyone publishes. It is basically mandatory. And the student is, and the supervisor are strongly encouraged to publish. So it is an issue, but it is not mandatory. Indeed, it is not mandatory to publish. But I do not remember in the last N years, including the term of Fulvio, that someone graduated without any. But it also says in Germany that one has to have one paper submitted, but the supervisor is evaluated for the number of papers published by his or her former student, including first name, including corresponding author. So in Italy, the scholarship comes with the position. It is mostly paid by the government. So there is a competition. And the competition is made with money, a decent amount of money. Well, not always and not everywhere, but this was the frame that Fulvio created, and I implemented it strictly. You need to have some money. You have literally the word of Fulvio, an ongoing research. So the student is welcome in a place where this research is done and finds a decent research environment with some fund. Even if you don't have an European grant is okay, but some money to spend. Yeah, and that's it. And the supervisors have to apply. So they say, okay, listen, I have money to have an idea to work, have a student work, and they are selected given scoring point. And the scoring point include, for example, the fact that a student went abroad for 3 or 6 months. This is almost mandatory because the university is then evaluated by the government. And if all the university, so if someone fails, everyone fails, and we get less position the following year. So student must go abroad because the government that gives us money and position and scholarship tells us that the government wants that the students go abroad for now at least 6 months. And so we in turn implement it in our PhD program. And we are evaluated thanks to the numbers of positions that are taken from European Joint Doctorate, for example. And so we try to encourage financing from abroad. We are evaluated from industrial PhDs, so resources that we can bring to our PhD, not spend money from the government. And we are evaluated for publications. So if we do not publish, we get all the PhD, we get less positions, so we force students to publish. And we press supervisor to publish, telling that, I'm sorry, you did not make your student published because first name is also important and very important, and corresponding name as well is possible. So in theory, during the first year, one should have a communication to meetings or a paper published. In the second year, it would be nice to have a first name, for example, in a perfect world. The last paper close to the thesis should see the student having a corresponding position. It is not always possible, but yeah, this is what we aim to. I would say 20–30% is manageable. You need to have brilliant students, general supervisors, but yeah, it happens often. Yeah.
And totally, how many publications by the time of the PhD is 3 years or 4 years?
3 years.
3 years. And how many publications is expected?
Depends. I was lucky, one of my students finished with 12 publications, but it was outstanding and we had a lot of money. And of these 12 publications, 5 was at her first name. But yeah, it was outstanding. Average is 3 or 4, from 2 to 4.
12 is in 3 years.
No, it is unbelievable. But I mean, I think that Tiziana remembers it. The name was Carlotta Catotti, was a sort of maverick. And but it depends on the team they are working with.
Yeah, exactly.
If you are in a team, and we have in Italy an epidemic of MDPI, it is really an epidemic. So in some cases, money means publication. It is changing, but yeah.
What is the, yeah, that's good actually you brought this out, sorry. What is the views in Italy about MDPI?
I don't like it.
You don't like it, but generally.
Because no, we abuse of them. I don't like it. You can publish good papers or bad papers. But for my personal experience, listen, I'm an editor of Springer, so I'm strongly biased first.
Yeah.
You know, just let you know, I'm strongly biased. But yeah, the number of publications on MDPI is decreased. They are firing a lot of people, such as in Frontiers. Because I have the personal experience that the review was bad. In 2 or 3 cases, it was not my fault, but other colleagues wanted badly to publish their review on an MDPI. It was a high top in MDPI, 6.5 impact factor of the journal. The review was 0, basically. And we were in a rush when we published for the first time, and the second time we completely rewrote the article, and that was okay anyway. So had we not, the publication was published, it's still published. It was cited 45 times, and I must say I don't believe at all in this mania of bibliometry, at all. I can't propose anything better. I try to tell to the student that they need to publish as much as they can in solid journals. We have splendid journals such as Veterinarni Medicina Brno. That is one of the most beautiful journals I know, and it is in the 3rd quartile, but it's really very nice. Got reviews, got edits, got everything. It is good, and they never managed to publish there. I desperately like. And many papers on the 1st quartile many journals, sorry, I really don't like them at all. It is a matter of reviewing, but we can discuss for ages. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
And the feedback was bad. In many cases, I can't see any good reviews and no feedback. And so it is up to the author.
And MDPI, and also you have the same views about frontiers?
I'm an associated editor, and I found yes, in the end, yes. If it is a yes or no, it is a yes. And Frontier is firing a lot of person also, because, yeah, I think people start thinking that, yeah, may work while to publish on journals that have a longer reviewing process, but it's a reviewing process with all, well, it is not a perfect system. But I found as an editor, very, very difficult to reject a manuscript in Frontier, very difficult.
Yeah.
So you have to justify, and you need to write to the authors, you really want to reject it. Are you sure that, I mean, in Springer, it takes 2 minutes. It's no, it's no. You have to justify it. In
Yeah.
Wiley as well, in Elsevier as well. In Frontiers, you need really to, and then you have the editor-in-chief, what you want, are you sure? Tell to the author, explain it very well, are you sure? Yeah, and in the end, it comes to the money. Well, again, my very personal opinion.
Can I just
Yes.
skip the discussion? Well, I happen to be an editor for Springer as well, and I have been an editor for Springer as well for many years. And yeah, Fabrizio, I sort of agree on some things that you said, but I also have to remind, you know, that a lot of misconduct and a lot of very debatable way to deal with the publication and reviewing has been reported for the big publisher as well. So, and I also think that, I mean, Springer and Elsevier with no distinction.
Yeah, Wiley, whatever.
And also, I mean, all what is happening with PubPeer is clearly demonstrating that, I mean, there is a lot of things that are completely out of our controls that are somehow leading to a vast number of retraction, even from the holy grail of the journals. And so I think that in a way, it's a matter of reviewers. It doesn't matter what the journal is and what the publisher here is, you know, Springer, Elsevier, MDPI, whatever. If you are a serious reviewer, you will be reviewing correctly. And if you are a biased reviewer or a reviewer with too many friends you want to, you know, be friend with and so on, then you will end up by being a lousy reviewer. And the final result of this will be a very light review. And the other way around, you know, you can be an extremely fastidious and tedious reviewer for many reasons. Yeah. So I don't think it's a matter of who the publisher is. And I think that one way to solve this could be, for instance, being public. So open review. So you know who is reviewing your paper, and everything is, you know, very clear, very direct, because it's very easy to hide behind, you know, the anonymity and trash papers, or, you know, help friends in publishing their papers. But I don't think that we are in a position as editors for Springer to think that we are working better or we are better than anyone else. This is my general opinion, which may be wrong, mind you. But at the same time, I refuse to be pushed by the strong pressure which has been built against MDPI, which I don't think is not driven by very big interests in the editorial sector. well, this is my general.
Yeah, no, well, editoring, Springer, Elsevier, Seiji really makes money. They are enterprises, so there are some rules. So I can share only my experience as editor-in-chief. Editor-in-chief, also the other editors, in fact, have the important role to take care about the reviewing process.
Yes.
So most is done by them. And then you can make mistakes. My feeling is that MDPI pushes to publish, and there is a push to publish. I never have this feeling to be pressed to publish. Well, everyone is, well, I got this award because we increased the publishing, but we increased the submissions. So from 300, now we have 2,000, which is okay. And they check download. They don't check the impact factor, for example, don't care anything. And Nature, I was not aware about that, but Nature has 50% of papers accepted, never cited, never ever. I was not aware about that. So they don't care. They care about something else that I don't know, I don't understand. They care about the budget of rejection. They check how many papers are rejected. We have a SNAP system that is independent on the others and warn you about, well, you know the SNAP system because you're an editor of Springer, so you know it. So I'm warned about any conflict of interest, which is really huge. And so it is up to me if I take care of it or not. I usually take care of it a lot.
Yeah.
And that's it. Then you have to cross the fingers because you are not an expert in the field. You're not a reviewer. And you check the reviewers, and now and then you can see there are some bias in a way or another one, anyway. And yeah, my main concern about MDPI is my personal experience. So my reviewers were bad, and I had accepted papers. So my feeling is bad because I have accepted papers that I realized they were not good at all. So when I delivered, okay, I did not need it, but other people were pressing. And okay, just do it, okay? But we will get it back immediately. No, accepted in 4 days. Accepted. And I knew that was wrong. So I don't have a huge experience of MDPI. But what I know is that 3 years ago, MDPI was regarded as one of the main, I would say, competitors by Springer, which is a major. Now they don't consider it a competitor anymore. The same, I don't know why, but when we are very often, we try to work as a journal, so we have very often meeting with the editorial board and the associated publisher. I don't know if you do the same. And wow, they change it. Wow, we care about Elsevier. We don't care anymore about MDPI. We don't care at all about frontiers. And yeah, they don't regard a lot frontiers as MDPI. Frontier is more open reviewing system.
Well, it's also a completely different reviewing system.
Completely different reviewing system. And yeah, I mean, no, Tiziana, I agree with you on everything. It is a matter of personal experience. I had only these 2 or 3. I got paper published. Well, I think that they are nice papers I like, but I completely wrote them from one turn to the second one because I did not get a reviewer. It was a special issue again. Yeah, it's okay. Just accept it. No one read it, and it was not good. I know it was a review. It was not good at all.
Well,
So,
I think we are getting carried away from the topic of the.
No, indeed. No, sorry.
We need to organize another workshop on this.
We need to organize another work. I don't want, and we have a council, by the way, Tiziana, you and me, and it started, so I think we have to go.
I fully agree, and I think it is very important that we do so. It is an extremely important issue in my own lab, or even, let's say, even in our university. And so where do we publish and where we don't? And the differences between MDPI, Springer, Frontiers, and all that, and also how it would affect the future career of these guys and how it would progress and so. And hence, if it is possible, actually, it would be good if we can have editorial people like you, Tiziano or Fabrizio, and also if we can have it from different countries, because the perceptions that we get, for example, in Sri Lanka is different from the perception that we have here in Estonia or maybe in Italy or maybe in UK and so on. As it will, and now publishing is an international issue. And I really would like to have maybe a very frank discussion on this coming on but as you said, yeah, we are taking the time for something that is completely different. But it would be, for me personally, I would love to have such a discussion.
Yeah, but this is part of the PhD training, by the way. We have a large part of the PhD training that is on publication and ethics and integrity in publication. This is really important part.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so in this case, thank you very much, Fabrizio and other representatives from University of Milan, Tatiana and Fulvio, for preparing this for preparing this session. And as we see, it lasted longer than anticipated, so it seems that was engaging and helpful. And now, as Alireza said, we hope that especially Christy is full of knowledge and motivated, and everything is clear now what to put in the deliverable. So thank you very much. Have a nice afternoon, and see you on another workshops, and see you in Tartu next year.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.